I think anything at all. If you want to be good at anything at all, to any decent standard, like if you're quite young, you probably need the advice, or if you've done a few things before, you need the wisdom that, like, anything at all it's not going to be a switch. It's going to be like a journey, innit? Like, if you ever saw that wee drawing, it's like A, B, perception, the line, and then it's like reality.
Yeah, and
just you know what I mean?
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday with Sean, but basically, sometimes you know where you want to get to, but you don't know what the journey is going to be, and sometimes you don't even know what's the next, like, you can't even see which way you're supposed to go. You're just lost in this big fucking haze, this big fog of, you're like, I know where I want to get to, but I don't even know what direction I'm supposed to be going in to get there, you know?
But that's the kind of, like, it's kind of Ryan Holiday type, kind of stoicy type stuff, and I think it's important, like, and it's what you went and says there, man, like, an inch is an inch, and that's fine, man. Anything over 0 is brilliant. But, like, even if you can take that further, man, and, like, see if you, like, do something and it's an absolute bag of shit and an absolute car crash, at least you've learned what not to do. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
absolutely. Like, that's
learning how to fuck stuff up is just as important as learning. Probably more important than learning how to do stuff.
I agree. It's just as important. We're all motivated by positive sort of experience and positive sort of emotional feedback.
Aye.
But a lot of the time we ignore the negative because we don't want to think about it. But that is just as valuable, because think about it. If you're just chucking, trying to throw stuff at the dartboard, let's say, and in a pitch black room, and just trying to figure out, where you're landing, where's this shit landing. Like, if you want to find the middle, you got to throw here, that didn't land, I'm going to try here, that doesn't land. And then you start slowly getting closer to the center. You can't just be like, I'm just going to try and throw it to the center all the time. You got to just, it comes back to, it's a fucking experiment.
That's it, man.
And it's all feedback.
But see, if you've not got like that, if you've not got that foresight, and then you just hit the first couple of hurdles, and you're just like, oh.
I think it's our egos come into it massively, which is we're taught to sort of only feel proud of the effort we've put in if there's a positive result.
So mums and dads, innit, man? Like, what was the book I was reading?
But it was like, their mums and dads before it,
I don't give them excuse, they're arseholes, a lot of them. But what was the book I was reading, man? It's like the kid comes in with the picture, and it's like a good picture, and they're like, oh my God, you drew such a good picture, I love that drawing, and then they stick it up in the fridge, and the kid's like, oh, I'm only loved if I do something good.
But I think that's part of us as well. It's a natural sort of obvious conclusion to draw as a child of, like, if I get positive feedback when I do good things, or if I achieve good results, and I get nothing when I try really hard but don't achieve anything major, then you're gonna be like, well, that doesn't really count, does it?
That's bugging me, but is it a black box thing or something? I don't know, man. But I think I've got 3 kids, man. So, like, I get that vibe, man, and, like, me and the wife, like, we try and kind of hammer in on the, like, did you work hard? Like, is that?
Did you try your best?
That kind of jazz, and, like, but then as well, like, any time, like, something's like they come up short or something like that, it's like, well, what did you learn and stuff? And that's one of the big things I took for running, and it's like, even if you mess it up, like that race I did, like the fling, right? It's like it was traumatic. It was literally traumatic. It was fucking physically and mentally and emotionally traumatic. It took me like 11 hours and 30 minutes or something like that. And I went back about 2 or 3 years later, and I ran that race.
And we're like, there's that rock.
I can't run by it now without being like, I still think it's up there, man, just haunting the West Island Way. This wee black slimy heat pops up now and again.
You gave birth to a radioactive turd.
Honestly, man, it was like that monstrous smoky monster that came out in Game of Thrones, man. It was something like, the Red Ladies, baby, whatever it was, man, but we killed somebody.
Just imagine your head pops out, like, you alright, man?
You alright, man?
You might have just given birth to your dark side, like,
it was brutal.
Classic Stephen King shit.
Maybe that's what it is, man. Maybe it was just like the whole arseholey part of my personality just ejecting from my body, man. But I went back to that race like 3 years later or something like that, and I was like, a benchmark time for that race is like 8 hours, and I was like, right, I'm not going to race it. I want an 8 hour fling, and I ran it 7 hours 58 minutes or something like that, and it was perfect. It's the best performance I've ever had in a race. It was just clockwork. Everything I had today, I hit all the targets. It was brilliant. It was tough. It was difficult. Like, I literally stopped and I couldn't walk after it. But I banged everything. But it was after it, I kind of realised, like, it was great and I was happy. I'd ticked the box, but I'd learned nothing. See, for long term, like, it was useless. It was just nice to say there was nothing. But that first time, like, I could sit here and just tell you, like, you probably wouldn't know what I'm talking about for half of them. It's all kind of in-depth fucking running and nutrition pish and all that. But I learned so much for that total car crash the first time. The second time, I learned fuck all. It went well, but I learned fuck all.
You have learned something, though. You've learned that the system works.
Aye.
If you learn that if I do all this and I fuck up enough, then every now and again to get a perfect one. Or
that's a
I don't like the word perfect because I used to be someone who was very sort of perfect, you know, and it's very alluring. I like to use the word ideal. I'm not someone who like bans words of like, you say whatever you want to say, but to me the word perfect is very alluring. It can easily make me sort of lose track of the actual process that goes into it. So not kind of say ideal, because we all know we don't live in an ideal world, but that's what it is. It's the ideal projection of what this thing should be.
I think you're setting yourself up for a fall the next time as well, innit?
Aye.
You know, perfect then becomes your benchmark and you're a bit fucked then, aren't you?
You are, because that's not realistic. Again, we don't live in anywhere near a perfect world. Like,
aye. You got to learn for the imperfections, didn't you?
Yeah, and you kind of like, that was one of the big lessons of like, there's so much happening in the world at the same time. Why would anything ever be perfect? Like, there's so many moving parts, you know, doing their own thing, as well as me trying to do my thing. Most realistically, I can just try to work with it as well as I can. And every now and again be like, cool, I got there. Yay, fucking enjoy that win.
If you did like Ryan Holiday's Stoicism type books and all that?
No, I've learned this the hard way.
You've got a lot of the vibe there, man. Like, don't buy them on fucking Amazon or whatever the fuck it is, man. You're wasting your money. You've got it. Don't worry. Ryan Holiday's like this Stoicism rock star, man, and like a lot of the stuff like he kind of teaches and writes about, it's kind of like a lot of the principles you kind of learn the hard way in ultra running. But just when you were talking there, man, it just like, I'd recommend them to anybody.
I mean, it's good to, it's kind of positive feedback for me to know that, okay, this is what people are learning. Right? It means that I'm not completely full of shit.
Oh, there's a guy who's a multi-millionaire out there. He's got like 8 books or something like that, man, and he's basically spitting out your shit and making a fortune for it, man.